Hey guys, here I am working on another order. Same color shirt, so it's not the same project you saw me doing before. This is a couple shirts for special gifts that someone contacted me about that they wanted made up. So I am just going to be showing you exactly how I do my shirts. They're really easy. If you haven't already saw the process of sublimation, I gave you a quick tutorial on it, telling you the do's and don'ts. So you need to go back through my channel and look for that. But mostly sublimation is my preferred way to do shirts because sublimation on the right material will never fade. It lasts as long as your item that you have sublimated it to. So what I do first is I just go ahead and pre-press it. That also gives me the center of the shirt to be able to align my image. But I got a couple of images here that someone contacted and wanted to have these put on a couple of shirts. So all I'm going to do, I go ahead and rip around the image because this is going to soften the edge as when you press it, it won't have um, a hard line and make your image, it won't go away. It will stay on there. So this kind of helps that. When you are pressing, you can just rip off a little piece to just to soften the edge. That's basically all this is doing. And you just go all the way around the paper. If you, for some reason, feel like you won't be able to do this without ripping some of the image, then you can take a pair of scissors and just kind of, go in a pattern sort of in and out. This has spray around the image, so losing some of those sprays is not going to hurt that at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this one. These are cool um, images that I created. They just contacted me, said, hey, I would like to order a couple of shirts that say shalom shalom, and I want it stacked. And I don't really want I want it to be in script, but nothing, fancy or girly because it's husband and wife that are wearing these. So I said, okay, give me a little while and I will come up with something and get back with you. And yeah, so I gave them the very first rendering and they took it. So all I'm doing right now is I'm going to press this for about 5 seconds. That is going to, first of all, remove any moisture out of the t-shirt so that it will adhere much better. And it also lines up the center of your shirt. And if your tag has been placed in the center of the neck, then it should line up directly in the center of that tag. And that is the center of your shirt. And all you do is fold that in half, line up your neck and line up your shoulders, and you'll have the center of your shirt. So all I do then is I just simply put it on here. I do have a t-shirt ruler. There are several. You have some for youth, some for infant, some for toddler, and here is my adult. And these are adult shirts. So I'm just going to line that up with the line that I made with my press along with the collar. This is going to be a guide to tell me how far to place this so that I'm not placing it up too high on the shirt or too low or over in the middle, off center. All I do is I fold it in half so I know I've got the center, and I put a little crease at the top and the bottom. I line that up with my crease in my shirt. I line that up with the arrow on my guide. and I have placed it. Some you can use tape to hold your piece down, but if you can just hold it there for a couple of seconds, you should be wearing heat gloves. You do need to have on your proper PPE. Heat gloves is recommended. If this is heated up, my heat press is heated up to 385 degrees. So I have that set at 385 for 60 seconds. Now, once I open this, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to allow that gas to settle back down, because that ink is turned to a gas when it was pressed with the heat. And then when it's done, I'm going to leave it set so that it settles back into a solid straight onto the shirt, and it's permanent. It will never come off. Your substrates have to be 60% higher of polyester on t-shirts, or a sublimation coating on whatever substrate you're using. And you notice that I stepped away, that way that gas can stay over there. I do have an air purifier back here that once that opens, it starts to change colors and let me know that the air is no longer quality. For some reason, that did not beep. Usually it starts beeping when that timer goes off. I let it set for a few minutes, allowing that to turn back to a solid. When you saw when I opened it, it was a steamy, that was the gas. The air purifier has gone from green to yellow to red, and then it'll go back to green. I give that time to purify the air again. Okay, I'll remove my protective sheet. I'll remove that. See, it got all of that color out of it, and it has went on to my shirt. All right, there's one. Pre-press this one. It is important to make sure that that is pretty straight, that there's no wrinkles, crinkles, or anything. 5 seconds. Spot on. When I'm putting it on the heat press, I'm laying the shoulders up over the back. I have the collar right here, just to the very edge, and then I have my line going straight down. I'm going to place my guide right on there, right at the edge of the collar with the top part. I'm going to place this on here, and I'm going to fold it to find that center again. I'm going to line it up, remove my guide. Don't forget to remove your guide. Those do not work well under this heat. I'll tell you that. I'll burn a few of them up, and I'm going to allow it to go for that 60 seconds. If you have never heard of sublimation, so the process is you have to have sublimation ink and a sublimation printer or a converted printer with sublimation paper for best results. You can use regular copy paper. I've seen people who have used regular copy paper. However, their print did not come out as vibrantly as it does, because the sublimation paper is thicker and it absorbs that ink, where it sits on top of copy paper because it's just thin and it has no place to go, and then it can't absorb, and it kind of dissipates before it has time to get inside the paper. With the sublimation paper, I use a sub paper, I use hypo ink, and I have a, oh my gosh, I forgot the name of my printer. My printer is the Epson 15,000, and I converted it over, which is very easy to convert a regular printer um, into a sublimation printer. I used to have the smaller version, but I went ahead and sold that and went with the 15,000 because I could get the bigger prints in that, the 17 by 11s, and sometimes I do items that are that size. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off because I don't have any more shirts to do. I'm just going to let that sit there for a couple more seconds. All right, my air purifier says I'm safe. I'm going to remove that. Now, why do I say that it's important that you wait? Because when that gas is, if you're standing over that press and that gas is still in the gaseous state, that sublimation is still in the gaseous state, it can make you sick. When I first started doing sublimation, especially doing tumblers, I had 3 or 4 presses going with sublimation presses for cups, tumblers, and then I couldn't understand why my throat was hurting all the time. It always felt like I was had a sinus problem going on, and come to find out it was sublimation. It will actually get trapped into your sinus pores, and it can make you really sick. So you can wear a mask if you feel like you need to. However, just stepping away, having that air purifier is the best thing that I recommend. I do believe that it has made a big difference for me. So, anyway, keep following along for more tips and tricks. I will be here creating more custom orders. I have more orders to go through, so I hope to see you soon. Bye.